They came down to the funeral, and like some were more tactful, some were less tactful, but the gist of it is that all of them were asking like, when are you coming back to work?
Hi, this is Danker, and welcome to another episode of the Are You OK podcast. And today we've got Chanel Yui here with us. She is a former teacher turned content creator and OnlyFans creator. She's here with us today. Hello, Chanel.
Hi.
We're so excited to have you. And of course, you've got the very lovely clinical psychologist Jeannie Chu here with us to share her insights throughout the entire episode. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, Jean. Hi, Chanel.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us here today, Chanel. Really lovely to have you. First things first, I want to know when you got started with teaching. Tell us all about it from the beginning.
From the beginning, right? I took my A-levels.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was deciding where to go for further studies. But I wasn't from a very rich family. Yeah. In fact, we were quite struggling.
Okay.
So to further my studies, right, I could only take scholarships. And I applied for a few scholarships and I got accepted a few. But one of them was like MOE.
Okay.
Yeah. And I took up their offer to teach art. So I got a scholarship to go to NTU ADM. And after that, I went to NIE. Then I started teaching from there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So did you taught art? Was there any other subject that you taught as well?
Yeah. I had to teach 2 subjects. So my first subject is art and my second subject is math.
Wow. Okay. Very brainy already. I already know she's like
Yes.
super brainy because math is like the last thing that I was ever.
Teach lower math. Just lower math.
Did you enjoy the time teaching? Tell us a little bit about it. Like when you first started, I'm sure it was something fun for you.
Yeah, I really like teaching. In fact,
Yeah.
like the whole experience with being with the kids and teaching them skills, watching them grow like from like level 0 to level 100 is like, woo. You know, like how some people like to watch speed runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, especially in secondary school, because it's the point where like a kid turns into an adult. So
Yeah.
you kind of watch the speed run in 4 years kind of thing.
I bet you enjoyed the teaching part of it, the students part of it. But I know that you ran into some issues with the fellow teachers who, I guess, made life a little bit difficult for you. You know, it wasn't as fun in that respect. Can you tell us a bit about that journey, maybe?
I always tell people that in teaching, there's 2 types of people.
Yeah.
The kids and the adults. And the adults are always the ones that are more difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, kids can be difficult, but it's like, you know, 1 out of 100 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But adults in general, it's like, it's not just the teachers. I mean, there's management, there's
Okay.
like staff, there's parents,
Yeah.
things like that. Just the general culture, because the adults are the ones that make the culture of the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the main issue for me is that like I don't really fit the mold of like the regular Singaporean teacher kind of image, you know, like you must be super role model, wholesome, have BTO, 2 kids. Yeah, so I'm not that type of person. And when you don't fit the mold, people will tend to pick on the stuff that you do that's like not within their acceptable zone.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah, so because I had hobbies, I had activities that I like to do. I have friends who like to party, they're in the nightlife scene, you know, and some of my friends are in the media industry, fashion industry, and I would spend my free time and weekends doing things like that, like partying, attending fashion events,
Yeah.
doing photo shoots, cosplay, fashion walks, this kind of thing. And these are the things that interested me. And I also ran a public account, like Instagram account, but that was for my digital creations. So because I'm from the art scene, right? I'm an art teacher, so I consider my work like digital art. you know. So I created the Instagram account to kind of have an online presence, but also to publish my digital content. Yeah, which at that point of time was just like digital artworks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me with like fashion stuff, and then with a lot of like digital edits, things like that. Yeah, and I like those kind of things. It's like very funky, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not very role model-y. It's not like the Singaporean dream kind of like.
And so what problems did you run in with that? Was it the students, I don't know, telling their parents like, hey, look at our funky teacher? Or is it like mainly the other teachers and the principal and the staffs of going like, Chanel, you can't be doing this, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah. So with every batch of students, right, like every year you get new faces and all, and like new people, these new kids, like maybe 20% of them will kind of find out that, oh yeah, this teacher has this thing, and she's like doing these things outside. It looks so funky.
Yeah.
And usually the kids are very excited.
Yes,
and
I would
they're
imagine.
Like, oh my God, it looks so cool, kind of thing. And of course they will talk about it with their friends and with their form teachers or whatever.
Yeah.
That's when the problem comes in.
Okay.
Then they're like, oh no, this is not appropriate. This is not what we want the kids to know, or like, this is not what we want to portray.
Yeah.
You're not fitting the image, kind of thing. Yeah. So I got into trouble actually
Oh, yeah.
for the stuff that I posted online. So when they first got wind of my account, it was pretty long ago, and they were already trying to ask me to like take it down, like it's not very appropriate. That's the usual phrase
Okay.
that they're gonna use. And after questioning, I'm like, oh, why? Which part of it is not, kind of thing. They can't really answer. Yeah. So then after a few weeks, they will drop it.
Okay.
Then like 1 year or 2 years later, they'll bring it up again. They'll find something new that I posted or something that can be picked on, and then they'll talk about it again.
Yeah.
And it becomes like very tiring because like, why are you adding so much more management kind of problems
Correct.
for me to deal with?
So at which point did you decide like, okay, you know what, this is tough. I'm going through a lot of challenges with my teaching career. As much as I love the kids and all that, I'm just gonna switch out, do something else. And what led you to that point?
I think there were quite a few factors. First of all, like the daily teacher routine is very, very hard to keep up, I think. For a teacher, right, I mean, you have lessons daily. You have to appear at the school around 7
Yep.
or earlier. I mean, if you appear at 7, people are like... And then
Really at 7? I thought school starts like
7:20.
7:20.
Yeah, if you because I take bus, right, and I take same bus as the kids, so I reach same time as the kids. But you can't reach same time as the kids, because if you reach same time as the kids, then they're like, why are you coming in with the kids? Why are you not there when the kids arrive? Then I'm like, oh, but I'm taking the same bus as the kids.
Yep. I understand. Okay.
And then lessons start at 8, all the way until maybe 2 or 3, depending on your school.
Yeah.
And then after that, the afternoon time, usually you'll have like CCA, committee meetings, contact time meetings.
Right.
If you have graduating classes, you have like coursework classes, remedial classes, all this
Whoa.
kind of things. So
Oh my.
there is not very often that you can go back at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like there's only 5 days in a week.
Yeah.
And if like out of these 5 days you have CCA, contact meeting, committee meeting, remedial class,
yes.
coursework class, then the whole week,
Yeah.
you don't go back early.
Yeah.
And then most of the time these classes run till like 5, 6.
Yeah.
And sometimes all the way until 7. Then you reach home at like 8, 9.
Yeah.
You have 2 hours of free time. Then you need to sleep.
Yeah.
If not, you got not enough time to you're permanently sleep deprived.
Were there any other push factors? I hear that your mom wasn't very well at some point as well.
Yes. So on top of that daily routine, right? So at some point of time, my mom fell sick and she passed away last year, May.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so sorry to hear.
It's fine. She's in a better place, I believe. She got lung cancer, and lung cancer spreads very quickly to the brain and stuff. Yeah. So a few years in, it affected like her speech and things like that, her ability to do things because it was in the brain, right? Yeah. So she needed a lot more help at home, and at that there was a point where I even needed to between my classes I needed to go home to check on my mother because that point it was my home situation was quite messy. My siblings were between jobs, or taking part-time kind of thing, and there was not many people at home to take care of my mom. So I had to go home between classes to check if she had anything to eat. Because she couldn't order food. And she couldn't say where she was, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it sounds like a hard time.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. So that became a very stressful period. And that was one of the things that made me feel like I should maybe take a break or have a change in my routine kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's a burnout. Can I say
It
that?
was.
Yeah.
Definitely. Also at the point of time, it was COVID and just after COVID.
Right.
Yeah. During COVID was very tough already because, you're at home, but you have to work 24 hours kind of thing. You have to be online, you have to conduct classes, you have to revamp the whole syllabus kind of thing. And then after COVID is even worse. And on top of that, I had stuff to deal with at home with my mom and stuff.
It must be hard for you. So it sounds like it's the job demand, right? Because long hours and it's quite tedious, coupled with the fact that you need to take additional time to take care of your mom. And that's physically exhausting. I'm wondering for emotional exhaustion, I mean, are you that?
At that point of time, yes, definitely. Yes.
The reason why I ask is because burnout has actually 3 components. So one is actually emotional exhaustion, which can also be contributed by physical exhaustion as well. There's also cynicism. So basically you're skeptical about work. You're not really into work. You just keep thinking about negative thoughts about work. And then the last one is also professional efficacy. So it actually affects, your competency at work. I'm wondering whether for that, do you experience that?
Yes. So I did experience that, and I was pretty aware of it, but it came to a point where I became not very functional.
Okay.
So that was the point where I sought help. Yeah, and how I identified it was that at that point my mom was in the terminal stages of her illness. They were giving her maybe a few months left. And I was facing a lot of stresses at work as well because at that point of time my management decided to pick a fight about my Instagram stuff again.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And it was very stressful because it was a matter that I cared a lot about as well because what they picked on at that point of time was I received some sexual harassment posts. DMs in my Instagram. I have a lot of content creator friends that also face the same problems. And I was quite stressed up at the moment also I have a lot of things going on. Why are you giving me this kind of thing? So I screenshot it.
Yeah.
And I put it on my IG story. Who is this? Can you don't do this? I was trying to stand up for this kind of sexual harassment thing. Can you don't do this to creators and things like that. Yeah. And at that point, how I realized that I was not functional anymore was that I was conducting my classes as usual, but when I enter a class, it's I switch on the mode.
Yes.
And I'm my usual muscle memory and interactive and very engaging. But once the students leave, then it becomes a switch off mode, and I turn off all the lights in the classroom and I just sit there for for like an hour or what, however long the break is.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just sat in the darkness for however long the break was. It could be like 2 hours until the next class, and then I switched on the lights and conducted again. Yeah, that was what was happening to me.
During those 2 hours, like, are you thinking about anything, or are you conscious, or is just you're completely zoning out, or like you're feeling like it's an out of body experience, or
It was more like zoning out. Like, I would have my laptop and my handphone and my worksheets and whatever with me. I would thumb through the papers. I would open, close the laptop. I would open, close all the apps. But I wasn't looking at anything.
right?
Like, I just needed to have something moving. And then I'll just sit there and like that for...
I'm curious.
What is that,
Yeah,
Jeannie?
I'm curious. Actually, I want to ask Chanel, is that your way of coping? Is that, I mean, were you trying to detach away from work, or were you like lost interest? I mean, did you like lose interest in work at a point in time?
I think at that point, I lost interest in life. Like, I was going through the motion. I was doing everything that was necessary by muscle memory only.
How about like your usual hobby, weekend, you were like going out for photo shoots and stuff. Do you still engage in those? during
No,
those
at that
period?
point of time, no. So that was when I realized that, like, if I'm spending my free time just, making things move and fidgeting, then that's not functional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was this the reason, the catalyst for like, okay, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore, and then finding to do other things and doing your content creator things.
I don't think the switch was that sudden,
Okay.
but that was the point where I knew that I needed help and that I needed a change in whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was when I went to seek help from IMH. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
And what kind of help did you get there, and for how long anyway?
I asked my close colleagues, who one of them was like, counselor trained,
Yeah.
and she gave me information on like how to get to IMH, you get the referral letters
Right.
and things like that. And she talked me through the process. And I went to IMH, I got diagnosed. I had clinical depression. Not surprising. Yeah, and I got my meds, and I used that to apply for no pay leave. Yeah, which finally got approved. So I told the school that I needed to take care of my mom. I needed a break to take care of my mom and to help her pass on, which is true. Yeah, and actually I actually tried to take no pay leave before. I tried to request for it, but it was always kind of like discouraged until I got like diagnosed. Yeah. Then they couldn't refuse
Yeah.
the leave anymore. Oh, and then the last straw on the camel's back was that so I took my no pay leave about in March, halfway through the year kind of thing. And my mom passed on in about May. I took 6 months no pay leave though. So when my mom passed on, we had a funeral and all. My colleagues came down, like different groups of like colleagues, management, things like that. And they came down to the funeral, and like some were more tactful, some were less tactful. But the gist of it is that all of them were asking like, when are you coming back to work? At my mom's funeral.
Oh God.
I mean, I was a bit too shocked, I mean, with the whole death and all, to kind of react properly. So I just like kind of laughed it off, brushed it aside. But after a few days of like processing and stuff, then I realized that, yeah, that wasn't appropriate.
Yep.
There's no empathy at all.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
And that was when I decided that, yeah, probably I'm not going back.
So Chanel, like, why did you decide to do OnlyFans? And yeah, was it a quick decision that you wanted to get into it, or I don't know?
No, it wasn't a very quick decision. It was like because after I quit my job, right? I was trying to find like different sources of income to
Yeah.
do to earn money to do stuff
Yeah.
and all. And a lot of my friends my friend circle are in the media industry and also content creation and things like that. So they were already doing all these things.
Yep.
And actually I had like a foot in already because like during COVID I started live streaming. I was also running my own like public Instagram account,
Yep.
content creation kind of things on a smaller scale lah. So I already had like senpais in the industry. So they were telling me like, oh, if you want to do this, you can join me, or I can show you how to like set up the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was going around and learning a little bit of everything from everyone kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was like just gradually I started opening more platforms, taking content creation more seriously,
Yeah.
taking up little like gigs, like little sponsorships or little paid ads, this kind of things.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed doing all these things. Yeah. So one of the things that and OnlyFans was only one of the things that what I tried out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite natural actually, because what happened is that all along I was doing photo shoots, fashion shoots, boudoir shoots. These were my interests.
Yeah.
But I never ever took money for it. Yeah, even when I did modeling, or even when I went on magazines and things like that.
Yeah.
So, my friend was like, that's like a source of income that you're wasting. You're
Right.
putting yourself out there, but you're not taking any money for
Yeah,
it.
you should make some money out of it, actually.
These
to be
are all
honest.
work.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so they were trying to teach me how to monetize what I was doing already.
Yep.
So they're like, oh, since you're doing fashion, you can, reach out for sponsors, you can do advertisements, you can do modeling, paid modeling, paid photo shoots.
Yep.
And then after that, they were like, oh, since you're doing boudoir, you can also sell the sets on these platforms.
Yep.
So that's when OnlyFans came in. Yeah, so it wasn't really a very big change for me. It was
Okay.
just more of opening an account and putting the things there.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. And how does your family feel about it? Are they open-minded? Are they encouraging? Are they like, or like, are they, no, don't do this? I don't know.
I'm very thankful to have very loving and supportive siblings.
Great.
Yeah, they support what I do. I think they can also see that I'm much happier now. Yeah. In fact, I stopped taking my antidepressants. I'm off them already, and I'm like doing much better.
Great.
Yeah, than I was last year at this point of time.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago.
Okay, that's
I mean, my older sister would be more practical. She would hit me with the real questions like, oh, how long can you do this for? How much money are you earning? Is it putting food on the table? Yeah, she would ask the more practical questions, but it's of like concern for me.
OnlyFans has a negative connotation for most conservative people out there. How do you feel about people feeling that way about what you do? Do you know what I mean? How do you balance that? Or do you actually have filters in your head that go like, you know what, this is what I enjoy doing. So literally, I don't care. Yeah.
It's just another social media platform. It just has like a smelly name to it. Yeah. When I read the comments up front, I do feel a bit like, oh man, that's so sad. Like, why do they think of me like that? Then after I digest it, then I realized that actually they don't really know what they're talking about, kind of thing.
I'm curious, what does it mean to you then, OnlyFans? Like what is it? So other people don't really understand it. How do you understand this platform?
I think OnlyFans is actually very similar to Facebook. It's just that it has a paywall and it has like monetization kind of thing. Like directly you can buy stuff from people on OnlyFans. So OnlyFans is like literally opening a Facebook page. You post stuff there and it's almost like Facebook. It looks like Facebook. And some posts are locked, some pages are locked, and some messages are locked.
Right.
So you pay money to access those. Yeah, and if you're a fan of that person and you want to see that particular content, then you pay money for it. And what they post online might not be porn.
Yeah.
It's just that, yeah, there are people who do post porn on that. Like, a lot of people post porn on it. But there are also people who use OnlyFans just as a fan page, like to post things that maybe they can't post on Instagram or TikTok or whatever.
Do your students reach out to you now and go like, I don't know, find out how you are and all that?
Ex-students, they do come and contact me. Current students, they do contact me, but I try not to reply.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't want to get people into trouble. I also don't want to get myself into trouble, because I know what I'm doing right now is like in the M18, you know, these kids that are still not 18. I don't want to get them into trouble or get myself into trouble, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though we're not talking about anything that's like age restricted.
Okay.
It's just a precaution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are there any other sorts of like precautions that you take in order to, I don't know, just to keep things safe for you in any way, shape or form with regards to OnlyFans or all the other content creation that you do?
Of course.
Yeah.
With every content creation platform and stuff, we follow very strictly to like the platform's rules, and also because we're Singaporeans, we follow Singapore law as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's no pornography, no nudity, no non-artistic nudity kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if it's like nudity, it has to be like artwork.
Do you think like now kids go through a lot of like mental health issues as well? Do you feel that way? And did you have experience of them sharing their mental health issues with you as well?
Definitely. Because I talk to the kids a lot. I'm somebody who likes to, like, you know, engage in conversations outside of my lesson.
Yeah.
You know, basically I detract a lot. But I find it easier to relate to the kids like that and get them interested.
Yeah.
Like, if you are interested in them, then they realize that, oh, I matter to this and I can apply myself to this.
Yeah.
And then they will respond better as well. So that's what I do. I talk to the kids and they will tell me the problems and things like that. And I find that nowadays children, because, you know, of the internet and things like that, kids are way more knowledgeable than we were, the previous generation were when we were kids.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. They are very informed of mental health, mental illnesses, the stresses that other people face, kind of thing. I mean, there's always two sides lah. There's the very ignorant and then there's the very knowledgeable. But I think most kids nowadays, you know, majority are very much more knowledgeable than we were. There's like tons of like listicles online that tell you like, oh, if you have these symptoms, you know, then you probably have this and that, or like online quizzes for you to take.
And Ginny is like, don't believe any of them.
Oh my God.
No.
Yes.
Well, that can be a guide, because I mean now we Google everything, right?
Yes.
So and that can be helpful, right? Because it's the first like platform where we go to take information.
Correct.
Right. However, it can be quite dangerous in the sense, if you don't really know like where the limits are, then you just diagnose yourself. Right? And that is really a risk that like the children are doing now. Even sometimes we ourselves, we do that.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, oh, I'm depressed, you know, for how long? Let's go online and see what are the criteria. Oh, tick. Right?
How you scare yourself right now?
Oh no, I have this and this and this. That's right. So again, I guess my advice is always seek professional help, because I mean there are certain criteria. We don't just look at the criteria. We need to take into the wider context. You know, what's happening. You know, what are some of the triggers. You know, what you have been going through. Like, if I can share with you, for example, let's say pass on of a loved one. It's natural for us to get depressed, and let's say if we are diagnosed with clinical depression, then that's kind of normal in a sense, right? However, let's say if you are like this, you know, with nothing major happening, and then you're just continuously like that, then you might really want to seek help. That can be really more than that. So it's better to always talk to somebody rather than to go through that and diagnose yourself. Yeah.
So there's like two sides. There are kids that know all these things from the internet, and they realize their problems, or they are more sensitive to people because of that.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a good part. And then of course there's the other side where you're like,
Right.
oh yeah, I got ADHD, I got depression,
Yeah.
I got this and that, and, I
Right.
got that other one is called ADD or something like that.
Yeah, and all these labels are kind of thrown around, right? So,
Yeah.
don't be OCD, like,
Oh,
when you just
right.
try to like be tidy a little bit. So we try to refrain from using labels like this
Correct.
unnecessarily,
Yeah.
right? In fact, just describe that behavior.
Yeah.
Because over time, people might pick up the wrong things and basically, oh, that means I'm OCD or that means I'm ADHD, right? So we refrain from labeling.
Chanel, have you ever thought about going back to teaching full time?
I do enjoy teaching, and if there was a chance, like when I'm much older and I've done whatever bucket list things that I want to do,
Yeah.
I don't mind going back teaching.
Yeah. What else is on your bucket list? I'm curious.
What else?
Yeah. What do you want to do? What else do you want to do that you haven't done yet?
I mean, traveling, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I want to grow a few pets,
Grow a few pets, meaning like have some pets and... What do you mean by grow a few pets?
It's a weird thing to say, right?
Yeah.
But, try to grow a few animals. that's
Okay.
like not the usual cat and dog.
Oh,
of thing.
okay. Like what kind of
Like a
pets?
gecko. I think
A
gecko is so
gecko.
cute. But
Yeah.
it's not allowed in Singapore. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll grow it overseas.
Have a gecko farm. I don't know. Have more than one gecko.
Yeah, the leopard gecko is so cute.
Oh my gosh.
I heard they scream at you sometimes.
No, really?
Yeah, it's super
Can we
cute.
please superimpose a screaming gecko right here, right beside my head right now? Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, what an eye-opening experience chatting with you, and thank you for being so open and sharing your life with us, a slice of your life with us. We wish you the best with everything, and and hope you stay well. And if there's anything, you can always ask Jeannie.
Yeah,
Jeannie will
sure.
help you out
Anytime.
in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, thank you so much, Chanel.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.
Was quite viral, and my phone was under investigation, so I didn't have a phone, and I already started my TikTok journey.
Yeah.
So the first thing when she bailed me out, I came out of the police station and asked her, hey, what to do now? It was my first thing in my life that I got something to look forward, my content.